Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, Lavender here. Sorry that I'm talking so fast. I tried recording this video like 3 or 4 to 5 times and it wouldn't record. So let's just jump straight into this YouTube video. If you like this video, I'm gonna put videos related to this true crime case on the screen that I'm gonna be talking about that relate to this video, other videos I've made, YouTube videos I made, etc. So let's get started into this video. So today I'm going to be doing the true crime case of the burning bed, the Lifetime movie, a true story based on Francine Hughes' story. Police do not have a constitutional duty to protect someone. So let's get started in this video. This true crime case was featured in a number of media and TV. This was featured in a TV movie, Faith McNally's The Burning Bed, based on a book, turning it into a Lifetime movie, a 1984 made-for-television movie with the same name, starring Farrah Fawcett as the main female star. And this true crime case is also featured in folk singer Lynn Hardy's also created a song about these events entitled The Ballad of Francine Hughes. So let's get started into the background tough story of this true crime case. Francine Hughes' childhood and life story reads like a Lifetime movie. Francine Hughes was born in Stockbridge, Michigan, and as a kid, Francine watched her alcoholic father abuse her mother on a daily basis and the cycle of domestic violence. And when she dropped out of high school to marry her own husband, she quickly became a spousal abuse victim herself, just like her mother before her. The cycle of abuse continued. She married James, aka Mickey Hughes, as he was called. Mickey, soon after they got married, began to abuse her shortly after the marriage ceremony. She was quoted saying, "I bought some new clothes, he ripped them off me." She recalled, "I don't know whether I looked too pretty in them or what, but he didn't want me to wear them or look that way." But though Mickey seemed remorseful at first, his abuse became a consistent pattern in their relationship and marriage. Just like her abusive alcoholic father, her husband spent most of their money that he made on alcohol, and they also had 4 kids together. In 1971, she spoke with a local social worker and decided to divorce Mickey, but he ignored the divorce decree, coming and going at will and beating her. When Mickey was in a serious car crash a few weeks later, Francine took him back and nursed him back to health, but the abuse only got worse from here. Then on March 9th, 1977, Mickey lashed out on Francine, who attempted to enroll in a school with her mother's assistance. He forced her to burn her books, demanded she drop out of the school immediately, and threatened to destroy her vehicle. Terrified, Francine called the police, but they refused to arrest Mickey, the abuser, since they had not witnessed his abuse firsthand to her themselves, even though he had threatened them and told her it was all over since she had called for help and called for the police. When they left, he continued beating her and raped her. Afterward, he fell asleep after being drunk. I want to talk about this part just recently in the news about the Texas school shooting and how the police just stood there and claimed they didn't want to get shot by the shooter, and they actually tried to blame the whole situation on an innocent teacher at the school. Basically, parents were talking about how the police did not respond appropriately and they did a horrible job, and the police just care, honestly, the police just care about their status and money. They only care about making money. Police only serve the rich and the elite and the capitalist pigs, and they only serve the corporations. It's plain today to see. To be a police officer, you only need a high school education and you make loads of money. This brings me to another point in reference to this case and others like this case. This true crime case is based on domestic violence, and justices rule police do not have a constitutional duty to protect someone. In an article I read as early as 2005 about domestic violence that was published on June 25th, 2005, the Supreme Court ruled that the police did not have a constitutional duty to protect a person or anyone from harm, even a woman who had obtained a court-ordered issued protective order against her violent domestic abusive husband, making an arrest mandatory for a violation. The decision overturned a ruling by a federal appeals court in Colorado. The appeals court had permitted a lawsuit to proceed against a Colorado town, Castle Rock, for the failure of the police to respond to a woman's desperate pleas for help after her abusive estranged husband violated a protective order and kidnapped the 3 young daughters, whom he eventually murdered all 3 of their children. For hours on the night of June 22nd, 1999, Jessica Gonzalez tried to get the Castle Rock police station to respond and find and arrest her estranged husband, Simon Gonzalez, who was under a court order to stay 100 yards away from her family, and the house. She called the police when he took the children, but the police failed to act, resulting in the murders of her 3 children. This ruling basically said the police, even though they are supposed to be the law, don't actually have to help anybody, but yet they get millions of funding from the U.S. government, Joe Biden, and so do prisons. When it comes to this true crime case about Francine, the police didn't take it seriously at all. They don't take domestic violence seriously at all, or crimes. And now the government is claiming the police have no duty to protect domestic violence victims or their families. In other words, the police do not have to act if anyone or someone is actively being harmed. They do not have to arrest someone who has violated orders, and they do not have any obligation to protect you from others. AKA the police department are useless pretty much. I mean, they don't have to protect anyone, apparently, according to the U.S. government. Now back to the story. Francine acted swiftly, putting her kids in the car, then pouring gasoline around Mickey's bed and lighting it on fire. As the house went up in flames, she drove down to the police station, county jail, to turn herself in for her crime. By the time firefighters had reached the scene in the house, her husband was already dead of smoke inhalation. Francine was arrested and charged with murder. Even in the 1970s, the police and corrupt judges turned a blind eye to men who beat and raped their wives. In 1976, the New York Times covered a case in which a bleeding, bruised, battered domestic violence victim woman went to a police department station in the hopes of getting protection from her violent husband, only to be told it's not a police department problem or thing, and she was referred to a family court. Judges and juries routinely downplayed spousal abuse too. By 1977, the same year that Francine did this whole situation and this murder, the FBI had reported that the spousal abuse was the United States' most unreported crime. The Texas school shooting is continuing to prove that the police are useless and only care about their statuses and money. The case became a textbook example of a condition experts dubbed battered woman syndrome. After a trial in Lansing, Michigan, Francine was found not guilty by reason of temporary insanity. Years after this, she died in Lexington, Alabama on March 22nd, 2017 from complications of pneumonia that she developed in late 2016. She was 69 years old at the time. If you guys like this video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye guys, see you next video.